In the noisy, sun-drenched city of Umudu, life never stood still. From the sound of Danfo buses honking like angry geese to the clatter of market women haggling over the price of onions, every corner was alive. It was a place where dreams wore, both agbada and slippers, where pride moved hand in hand with hustle. And in this bustling chaos lived a young man named Kamena, or as he proudly called himself, Kamena the Great. Kamena wasn't just popular, he was a legend in his own right. His name echoed in salons, roadside bars, even university hostels. With skin like polished mahogany, eyes that sparkled like river water under sunlight, and a voice smooth enough to sell a broken radio, Kamena turned heads wherever he went. But it wasn't just his looks that made people talk. Kamena was the most gifted creative artist in the entire southern district. His digital designs could turn a local Akara seller into a brand, and his posters brought clients like ants to sugar. But while his designs were magic, it was his charm with women that gave him true fame and infamy. To the outside world, Kamena was a gentleman, respectful, intelligent, God-fearing on Sundays. But those who knew him well understood one thing. Kamena lived a double life. By day, he was the perfect professional, but by night, he was the master of the game. He didn't date women, he managed them, like files in a well-arranged cabinet. Every lady in his life had a role, a purpose, a function, and none of them knew about the others. At least not yet. First there was Salma, the chef. Her egusi soup could silence arguments. She cooked with love and seasoned with faith. Kamena never had to ask. She just knew when he needed comfort food. Then came Amira, the fashion queen. She didn't just wash his clothes. She ironed them with precision and arranged them like a boutique. She treated his wardrobe like a royal palace. Hadiza, the prayer warrior, was always on standby. "Every tongue that rises against you shall fail," she texted him every Monday. She fasted on his behalf, anointed his doorposts, and chased spiritual enemies he didn't know he had. Next was Zina, the party spark, loud, lively, wild like a Harmattan fire. Zina could turn a funeral into a concert. Clubs, house parties, lounges. If there was noise and music, Zina was there. And finally, Lady, his financial pillar. She was older, wiser, and richer. She called Kamena her little king and credited his account every Friday with pocket change that could feed a small family. Kamena's life ran like a symphony, organized chaos. He scheduled calls, visits, lies. He recycled compliments. He had never been caught until the day fate knocked. It started like any other Thursday. The sun was out, the generator was humming, and Kamena was midway through designing a poster for a church crusade. Then his phone rang. It was his mother, Mama Kamena, calling from their hometown of Agwocha. She didn't say hello. "Kamena, come home. Now. No stories. It is urgent." Her voice held the weight of thunder. Kamena froze. What had happened? Did someone die? Was the house burnt? His head raced through possibilities. He dropped everything and sped off like a chased goat. When he arrived in Agwocha, the compound looked too peaceful. Birds chirped. Smoke from firewood curled gently into the air. His mother stood at the doorway, smiling. A dangerous smile. Before he could ask questions, a young woman stepped out of the kitchen. She carried a steaming tray of yam porridge and peppered snail. "Kamena, this is Ngozi," Mama Kamena announced. "Your wife." Kamena blinked like a man under a spell. "My what?" Ngozi smiled shyly. "Good afternoon, my husband." Kamena turned to his mother in disbelief. "Mama, what kind of update is this? Which network did you use to download a whole wife for me?" His mother rolled her eyes. "She has been helping me since last year. Obedient, God-fearing. She even fixed our leaking roof with her own hands. Not like your city girls who only know Instagram filters." He chuckled nervously. "Mama, I didn't subscribe to this marriage plan. Please cancel it." "Kamena, sit beside your wife." Ngozi took a cautious step forward, but Kamena's look stopped her mid-step. His eyes screamed, "Touch me and lose your peace." Sensing danger, she quietly slipped back into the kitchen. Mama Kamena shook her head. "You will see her father. Tomorrow. I want the wedding done quickly before someone else grabs her. Are we selling tomatoes? What's the rush? He muttered. Love waits for no man, she replied, humming a wedding tune. Kamena felt his dreams shatter like broken calabash. A village wife? For him? The king of Enugu nightlife? Back in his car, he gripped the steering. Wheel like a drowning man. Me? Husband to a village tailor? No, never. By the time he got back to the city, he was still in shock. He needed peace. He needed Salma, his calm. She came over with a pot of okra soup and a bag of warmth. One look at his face and she knew. Kamena, talk to me. Why is your spirit roaming? He sighed. Salma, you won't believe it. My mother tried to force a wife on me. Her eyes widened. What did you do? He stretched on the couch like a wounded animal. I ran. Me? Settle down. At the height of my glory. Salma chuckled. Kamena, you know one day the game will end. He scoffed. Yes, but not with someone who still uses button phones. They both laughed. But Kamena's mind wasn't laughing. In that moment, the seeds of his downfall had already been planted. The next morning the sun rose over Umudu like a flaming orange slapped onto a blue sky. But peace had not risen in Kamena's heart. If anything, it had taken the next bus out of town. He knew what needed to be done. It was time to discharge Salma. With elegance, of course. That required a plan, a believable excuse, and above all, acting skills. As she lay lazily across his bed, stretching like a satisfied cat, Kamena cleared his throat. Salma, my dear, something just came up. I totally forgot I have a design conference today. Very urgent. She raised an eyebrow, half asleep. Conference? Since when did you start attending those? Kamena put on a fake, serious face. Today is the first time, you know, even the greats must learn. It's international. Designers from all over Africa. Even a Japanese guy is coming to teach samurai layout techniques. She looked at him suspiciously but said nothing. All right then, let me freshen up and head out too. Kamena nodded, exhaled hard and muttered under his breath, Stage 1 successful. But the gods were just beginning their drama. Just as he stretched and prepared to enjoy his freedom, his phone rang. Mama Kamena. He picked up. Ah, Mama. What happened? Her voice was sweet, like soaked dates. My son. How are you? He hesitated. I'm fine, Mama. Good, she said, because your wife is coming to visit you today. Kamena's mouth dried instantly. Which wife? Ngozi, of course. She's already on her way to Umudu with her bags. She'll be staying with you for some time. Silence, then came the whisper. Mama, what bag? Her bag of clothes, my dear. You rejected her in Agwocha, so I've brought her to you. Love must find you, whether you like it or not. Kamena stood up like a soldier hearing gunshots. This was not a joke. This was trouble wearing lipstick. He grabbed his phone and called his best friend. Toby, there's fire on the mountain. I mean real fire. Mama has sent that village girl to my house. Toby exploded into laughter. Ah, Kamena the charmer, your time has come. Oh! Toby, stop it. Help me. Toby thought for a second. Okay, listen, disappear. Travel before she lands. Tell your mother it's a business trip. Kamena nodded like a desperate man. Brilliant, he called Mama back. She doubted his sudden journey, but Kamena, ever the smooth talker, found the right combination of charm and half-truths to convince her. He sighed in relief. Victory. Until his phone buzzed again. A message. Good afternoon, dear. I'm almost at your house. I can't wait to see you. Kamena blinked. Maybe it was a wrong number, he read again. I'm almost at your house. His heart sank. Who was this? He scrolled up. Amma. His soul nearly packed its bags. Amma. He paced like a restless goat. Amma? From where? When? Then it hit him, Amma. The one from 3 months ago. The one he serenaded with, "You're my oxygen" lines. The one he sent love notes to. The one he promised everything to, just to get what he wanted. Kamena grabbed his head. This is the problem with being a sweet-talking polygamist. Receipts always come. His phone rang. Ama calling. He stared at it like it was an incoming missile. Should he answer? Should he throw the phone out the window and go live in a cave? Before he could decide, another message came. "Baby, I bought a surprise for you. I know you'll love it." Kamena's hands began to tremble. What kind of surprise? Do I look like someone that enjoys surprises? And then, knock knock, a loud knock at his gate, followed by the voice of death. "My love, I'm here!" Kamena tiptoed to the window like a fugitive. He peeked. Ama was outside, grinning, like a bride on her wedding day. "Kamena, baby, open the gate now," she called, her voice cutting through the air like a village town crier. Inside, Kamena ran to the mirror and stared at his reflection. "Is this how my glorious reign ends?" he whispered. "After all these years of careful planning and gone." Before he could process the madness, his phone buzzed again. Another message. From Chi-Chi. Another storm in a wrapper. "Hey, babe, I'm in a taxi with your surprise. Almost at your place. I miss you." Kamena froze. His stomach turned to cold akamu. He dropped to the floor. He looked at the ceiling, then at his phone, then at the gate, then at his entire life choices. With trembling hands, he picked the phone again. Maybe, just maybe, his eyes were lying. But no, the message was still there. His soul tried to leave his body a second time. His heart pounded like a masquerade drum. His legs refused to move. He crawled to his water bottle, gulped it down like someone hoping to turn into vapor. Before he could blink, another message landed, this time from Zuleika, his calm, his kitchen queen. "Kamena, I just left the market. I bought your favorite ingredients. I'm coming over to cook for you. Hope you're home." Kamena screamed into a pillow. "This is not life, this is punishment from my ancestors." 3 women, all heading to his house. At the same time, he jumped to his feet like his butt had been bitten by a bee. His brain was racing faster than an Okada on fuel fumes. He had 2 choices, run or stay and die. Then came the knock again, but louder. Then another buzz. He peeked through the window, very slowly. And there they were. Ama standing like Juliet in a red dress. Chi-Chi looking like she had questions and fists. Zuleika holding a shopping bag like she came to feed a husband. Kamena broke into a cold sweat, the kind that smells like regret. He looked around for an escape route. Nothing. Nowhere to go. No crack to hide in, no cousin's house to disappear to. Then it happened. Ama turned to Chi-Chi. "Sorry, who are you looking for?" Chi-Chi folded her arms. "I should be asking you the same thing." Kamena did a mental backflip. Before he could even pray, Zuleika stepped forward and asked, "Wait, why are we all knocking on Kamena's gate?" Silence. Kamena collapsed into his chair, hands on his head. This was it. The walls had closed in. Ama, Chi-Chi, Zuleika. All outside, demanding answers. From the tiny crack in his window, he watched them exchange suspicious glances. Then Ama asked again more firmly, "Who exactly are you looking for?" Zuleika raised her hand like she was testifying in church. "My sweet bubble, my darling, my heartbeat." Kamena felt his intestines rearrange. Ama narrowed her eyes. "Your what?" Zuleika blinked innocently. "Yes, of course, my sweetheart. He lives here." Chi-Chi scoffed and folded her arms. "That's funny because my sweetheart lives here too. This better be a reality show because I'm ready to break the 4th wall." Ama turned slowly back to the gate and knocked. This time like thunder was her inspiration. "Kamena, open this gate before I shout your secrets to the whole neighborhood." Inside, Kamena's lungs forgot how to breathe. His brain flipped. He threw imaginary escape plans like a panicked thief checking exits. Option 1, jump the fence. But he remembered his neighbor's dog, Hurricane, who had been waiting for a moment like this since puppyhood. Option 2, fake his own death. But this was Umudu. Nobody believed in ghosts. Nigerian women would still find him in the afterlife and demand closure. Option 3, step out and confess everything. But that was the shortest route to facial reconstruction by slippers. As his mind cooked in terror stew, his phone vibrated. He nearly screamed. "Mama Kamena." "My son, how are you? When are you coming back?" she asked sweetly. He whispered like a dying battery. "Mama, not now." He dropped the call and heard it, the deadliest knock so far. And then the storm got real. Amma turned sharply to Chichi. "Wait, oh, who exactly are you here for?" Chichi placed her hand on her waist. "I should be asking you that question." Zuleika, trying to save the moment, raised her voice gently. "Ladies, maybe we're all here for different reasons. Mine is to cook for my love." Amma's face hardened. "Your love? Are you trying to be funny?" Chichi gasped. Wait, don't tell me," she pointed at Amma. "Aren't you his cousin?" Amma's eyes widened. "Which cousin? Tu fiacqua." "I'm his fiancé." Inside, Kwabena's legs gave way. The ground beneath him felt like it was preparing to swallow. Chichi snapped her fingers. "Liar! He told me you were his cousin. I even asked him why your photo was always on his phone. He said you were family." Amma nearly exploded. "Me? Family? God forbid." Kwabena's eyes were leaking tears, silent ones. "Chichi, you talk too much," he muttered from inside. But Chichi let out a bitter laugh. "So wait, we're all dating the same man." Amma turned to Zuleika. Zuleika turned to Chichi. Chichi turned to Amma. Then, slowly, all three turned. To the gate. Amma cracked her knuckles. Chichi removed her earrings. Zuleika tightened her wrapper. And then Chichi declared, "Kwabena, you have 5 seconds to open this gate." Inside, he could hear his funeral soundtrack beginning. He looked up and whispered, "God, if I've ever earned a miracle, now is the time." 5. He ran. To the back door. 4, he grabbed his slippers. 3, he whispered again, "God, I beg." 2, the knocks became war drums. 1, bang! The gate flew open, and Kwabena ran like the wind owed him money. His legs moved with the speed of shame. His heart pounded like an overworked generator. Behind him he heard the war cry, "Catch him!" 3 women, once lovers, now hunters, chased him like Olympic sprinters. Kwabena regretted everything. Regretted the first lie he ever told. Regretted renting a house in an estate where people mind their business. Regretted skipping breakfast. Because if he was going to die, he should have at least had yam and eggs. He kept running. But his enemies had strong motivation. Heartbreak. Amma ran like she was training for the national games. Chichi moved like an ex-military officer. Zuleika removed her slippers, the universal sign of "you're finished." Kwabena tried to turn a sharp corner, but his slippers betrayed him. He slipped. He rolled. He landed face first in a gutter, his face buried in shame and mashed tomatoes. The shout that came from the roadside vendor, whose stand he destroyed, echoed like judgment. "Jesus, Kwabena, have you joined village madness?" He couldn't answer. His mouth was full of crushed egusi and regret. Before he could even attempt escape, 3 pairs of hands, strong, furious, female, yanked him up by the collar. There they were. Amma, Chichi, Zuleika, warriors. They stood over him like ancient deities in a Nollywood myth, ready to pronounce divine justice. Kwabena tried to smile, the same charming one that had opened many doors and many hearts. "Ladies, my queens, my angels, let's talk about this like grown people." Amma cracked her knuckles. "Oh, we will talk." Chichi pulled out her phone. "Let me record this conversation, so when you lie tomorrow I can send it to your pastor." Zuleika, still gripping her market bag with one hand and her slippers with the other, gave him a smile. So cold it could chill pepper soup. "Start explaining, now." Kwabena's throat dried instantly. The street had begun to gather like a local film premiere. Even Mama Ifeoma paused from selling roasted yam to spectate. This was it. This was how men entered motivational speeches. Once the pride of Umudu, Kwabena had been reduced to a soggy, slippery heap of foolishness. He looked up at the 3 furious faces above him and whispered a plea. "Amma, Chichi, Zuleika, let's remember the love." 3 slippers rose slightly. Kwabena shifted tone fast. "My sisters in Christ," Zuleika snapped. "Say that line again and I'll rearrange your destiny with this my left hand." He panicked. His brain flipped through possible lies. Which story would work? Then it came as the oldest and most powerful weapon in the Playboy survival kit. Tears. He began to cry, loudly, unapologetically. "It's not my fault, it's spiritual attack." Amma blinked. Chichi paused. Even a bystander selling boiled corn gasped. Kamena clutched his head and wailed, "Last night, I haven't been myself. Strange visions, dreams. A tall man in a red suit told me, 'Kamena, if you don't change, 3 women will show up and finish you.'" Chichi raised an eyebrow. "This guy has eaten spoiled ogbono." He continued, shaking his head like he'd seen things beyond the river. "I thought it was just a dream, but now it's all real. Everything he said is happening. This is not ordinary, I swear." The crowd gasped. Even Mama Kamena, still holding her wrapper and earphones, stopped mid-gossip. Zuleika folded her arms. "So this dream didn't tell you to stop chasing women?" Kamena wiped his fake tears. "I have changed. I have repented. I am now a new man. In Christ." Chichi rolled her eyes. "Please, we know you." Kamena placed a dramatic palm over his chest. "I swear on my late grandfather's last tooth I have changed." Zuleika finally spoke. Her voice was quiet but dangerous. "Enough of this public drama. We're too classy for this. Let's drag him home." Kamena's eyes widened. Home? Where? Whose home? He had run out of escape plans, and now he was about to be escorted by a committee of heartbreak. Kamena froze. "Drag me where?" he asked with a nervous chuckle, as Amma, Chichi, and Zuleika each grabbed a piece of his shirt, like they were pulling a sack of cassava. As they approached his front door, their footsteps halted. There, right in front of them, sat a beautifully woven basket, not of fruits or wedding gifts, but of destiny. Inside, swaddled in soft Ankara cloth, was a baby. A baby. Kamena blinked. His soul did a somersault. Attached to the basket was a small pink note. Amma picked it up and read aloud, "Dear Sugar Zaddy, I have traveled. Take care of our son. His name is Abeni. Enjoy fatherhood. Make sure you do well by him, or you'll regret it." The air grew still. The 3 women gasped. Kamena nearly collapsed. He had expected insults? Yes. Maybe a few flying slippers? Sure. But fatherhood? He staggered back and whispered, "A baby from where? How? Who?" He looked around like a criminal returning to the scene. "Who dropped this baby at my door?" he barked. Chichi stepped back. "Kamena, Nayue carry Sugar Zaddy tag." Timed on reached to Sugar Reel responsibility. Zuleika's eyes narrowed. "Well, it looks like one of your flings came with full consequences." Kamena shook. "This is a prank. It must be. I can't even—" Amma stared at the baby, then back at Kamena. "There's one way to be sure. DNA test." Kamena froze. He couldn't argue, because deep inside something told him the truth. He bent down. The baby blinked up at him. Then a tiny, perfect dimple appeared. His dimple. Kamena fell to his knees. The 3 women stared at him in a mix of rage, surprise, and something softer. They hadn't come expecting this either. Their arms crossed again. Less war, more wariness. Kamena was still trying to catch his breath. A baby, at his door. A tiny life that could be his. His mind went spiraling. How many women had he played? How many hearts had he finessed? Was this child the invoice for his sins? He picked up the note again, hoping the handwriting would reveal a clue. Nothing. No name, no number. Just, "Enjoy fatherhood." Zuleika finally broke the silence. "Kamena, your game has expired. This isn't a love triangle anymore. This is a life square," Amma sighed. "You can't keep eating your cake and expect it to remain whole. This child is your reckoning." Chichi nodded. "At least now we know why he kept vanishing. He was busy planting seeds." Kamena wanted to run again, pretend this was a dream, but the baby was still there, small, calm, and looking at him like he'd already forgiven him. He picked up the child. For a second, everyone held their breath. The baby cooed. Kamena carried him inside. Everything else was quiet. He dialed his mother. "Mama." "Yes, my son." He exhaled. "I didn't sign up for this." Mama Kwabena's voice dropped to her no-nonsense tone. You never sign up for anything. You think life is just fine boys, sweet words and fast shoes, but now life has handed you purpose. That baby is your responsibility, and nothing must happen to my grandson. Kwabena nodded as if she could see him. But Mama, I don't even know who the mother is. Mama didn't flinch. You played with fire, now hold the smoke. You rejected Ngozi because you said you weren't ready for marriage, but clearly you were ready to practice fatherhood. Then, silence. She hung up. Kwabena stood in his living room, holding the baby like a fragile package of destiny. For the first time in his life, something deep inside him moved. It wasn't fear, it wasn't panic, it was responsibility. Real, solid, heavy, humbling responsibility. Kwabena sat on the floor, still clutching baby Obina, as if the child might float away. His mother's words echoed like thunder. You never sign up for anything, but life just signed you up. He stared at the baby, his heartbeat slowly settling. Obina giggled, a soft sound that felt like forgiveness, and just like that, something shifted inside him. Not fear, not anxiety. It was responsibility, cold and heavy like Harmattan breeze, but strangely warming. He placed Obina gently on a folded wrapper and whispered, We'll figure it out, okay? That night, reality introduced itself with no mercy. He had expected a sweet first evening, maybe a cute cry or two, a bottle, a nap. But Obina had other plans. It started with a diaper disaster. The smell hit Kwabena like ancestral judgment. He unwrapped the cloth, took one look and nearly fainted. What is this, engine oil? He cried. He had never changed a diaper in his life. He didn't even know where to begin. Obina gave him a bombastic side-eye, as if to say, Oga, clean me or I scream. And scream he did, for hours. Kwabena tried rocking him. He sang lullabies, he paced, he begged, but Obina's voice only got louder, like he was training for choir auditions. Kwabena whispered to the walls, Why do babies cry this much? Is this part of the package? At 3 a.m. he gave up trying to use YouTube tutorials. He spilled formula on the floor, used a towel as a bib, and almost put the diaper on the baby's neck. When the child finally slept, Kwabena collapsed like a fallen jollof pot. Morning came like a slap. He dialed Mama Kwabena again. Mama, I'm not going to lie, I'm finished. Her voice was sharp but calm. You are not finished, you are fathering, big difference. But I don't know what I'm doing, he whined. I just wanted to have fun. Maybe go on a few dates. I didn't plan for a tiny human who needs food every 5 minutes. Well, congratulations, she said. You've got more than you bargained for. That baby is now your boss. And guess what? He doesn't accept excuses. She continued. If he says pick me up, you pick. If he says no sleep tonight, you obey. Baby milk isn't cheap and babies don't care if you're tired. Kwabena groaned. Mama chuckled. I warned you, but no, you were busy saying, I'm not ready for marriage. Meanwhile, your trousers were acting like wedding rings. He sighed. I just wanted to live my life. And now, she said, you're living his, and hung up. Obina stared at Kwabena with wide, suspicious eyes, the kind that only babies and disappointed ancestors could manage. His little face seemed to say, So, you don't know what you're doing, do you? It was feeding time. Kwabena, full of misplaced confidence, mixed the formula with one eye closed and poured it into the bottle. He smiled, proud of himself. But the baby had other ideas. As soon as the nipple touched his lips, Obina spit the milk out like a tiny fountain, drenching Kwabena from chest to knees. Yo, Obina, why? He cried, flapping his soaked shirt like a rooster caught in rain. He looked up, hands lifted, to the heavens. Who sent me into this madness? Who gave me this reward for my old life? But heaven stayed silent. The next performance came without warning, a full-scale tantrum. Obina threw his tiny fists in the air. His legs kicked, as if drumming an alarm. The cries turned from sobs into opera, notes no human throat should reach. Kwabena watched, eyes wide, heart pounding. This child is not ordinary, he whispered. This is one of my forefathers, sent to teach me manners. And truly, The baby began to teach him. Lesson 1. Responsibility. For the next few weeks, Kamena's life changed completely. No more late-night hangouts. No more gaming till 2 a.m. No more lazy mornings with phone in hand. Now his schedule revolved around diaper changes, feeding routines, and catching 3 hours of sleep in between cries. He learned how to bathe a baby without soaking the bathroom. He learned how to swaddle. And he mastered the most advanced dance of all, the sleep rock, that careful back-and-forth sway that could tame even the noisiest baby. Each day, the old Kamena faded. He didn't just stop clubbing, he stopped even missing it. The baby became his world. Abena's tiny presence reminded him over and over that something far bigger than his ego had entered his life. Friends started noticing. One day, Tunde stopped by with a pack of suya and wide eyes. "Wait first. Is this really you?" Kamena chuckled, bouncing Abeni gently. "Depends. Who were you expecting, the old me?" Tunde nodded slowly. "You look responsible." Kamena blushed and shrugged. Miracles happen. He had started documenting his journey on social media, videos, posts, raw, honest captions. He shared the chaos, the diapers, the spit-ups, the learning curve, and, most importantly, the growth. One post went viral. It read, "Brothers, let me be honest, don't be like I was. Life isn't about shiny shoes, smooth lines, and fast love, because one day you'll be holding a baby who looks exactly like you, crying at midnight and asking yourself, 'Who sent me?' Zip up, respect people's hearts, and if you can't be responsible, stay far away from anything that leads to fatherhood. These babies, they come with lessons." His followers were stunned. Some laughed, others cried, many clapped back with praise. But Kamena didn't share for validation. He shared because he finally understood. He had lived fast. Now he was learning slow, and every burp, every cry, every bottle, it was shaping him into someone new. The final scene of the video showed Kamena holding Abeni, whispering, "I used to joke about this life. Now I'm living it, and weirdly I wouldn't change a thing." Whether you are a man or a woman, playing with hearts is a dangerous sport. Karma never forgets your jersey number. Love people with care. Don't fake commitment. Because one day, when you least expect it, life will sit you down and hand you your assignment. And sometimes that assignment comes wrapped in a blanket, crying for milk. If this story touched your heart or made you laugh, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful African tales every week. Share this with someone who needs the reminder. Life has a way of teaching us, one way or another. Hit the bell icon so you never miss the next story that might just be your turning point.